So we have to sum the mandatory and the discretionary repayments. So we have this there. We sum all of those. So that's the sum of the mandatory and discretionary repayments for term loan A. For term loan B, it's also gonna be the sum of the mandatory and the discretionary repayments. So we have it here, set up here, term loan B. And then for the subordinated debt, it's gonna be the sum of we don't have any discretionary payments for that. So in this case, we just reference to whatever the required repayments were. So we have it here. In this case, we have nothing, but we just reference that as well. So we can now sum all of this together. So what we are saying here is that for the subordinated debt, we know very much well that this is one of the most unsecured debt, and as such, they have a payment in kind future. So this class of debt also might have an additional compensation as a result of investors embarking in such a strategy or investing in such bonds. So sometimes they might have a warrant attached to the debt security, or they might have a warrant attached to this debt security, or an option where they can convert the debt security into equity if the warrant is in the money. So if this equity investment, if the equity value increases above a certain hurdle rate, say 25%, then this tranche of debt might participate on and above that hurdle rate of 25% increase to convert their securities to equity so that they can participate if the warrant is in the money. And at the same time, they might also benefit for if ever to protect them on the downside, if ever there is no potential increase in the rate of returns, then they might be protected on the downside by converting or by ending just this interest rate of 12% for the rest of the period. So sometimes they might have those additional benefits as a result of embarking on such a strategy. So as you can see, it is very, very important to know where you fall as an investor and exactly what your strategy might be if you are looking forward to earning interest, or you're looking forward to capital gains, or you're looking forward to just preserving capital. So the fund manager who manages your portfolio or your funds for you will be able to allocate the tranche of debt that best fits the investment mandate. So that's what we are saying here. It's very, very important for us to understand how this modeling translates into earnings received by different kinds of investors. So going forward, we could just copy all of this. We could just fill this right with Control R. So we have the principal repayment set up there for now. But for the ending balances, we will just grab whatever the balances were. So if we go for the line of credit and we grab the balance, the ending balance of the line of credit. So we are taking the line of credit ending balance, the drawn portion of the line of credit. And then for the term loan A, where we just account for whatever was left in that year to be paid. So we take the ending balances for the term loan A. We have it there. We reference the ending balance for the term loan B as well. So the ending balance for the term loan B, it's gonna be right here. So that's the amount available to be carried forward to the next year. So the ending balance for the subordinated debt, it's gonna be this amount after taking into consideration the payment in kind accrued amount. So we can now sum all of these together. We can take this and fill it right with Control R. So we have set it up to this point. We are now ready to determine our cash interest expense. So we're gonna grab whatever the interest expense were for the different tranches of debt. So we begin with the line of credit. With the line of credit, we have to add both the interest expense for the drawn portion and the undrawn portion. So we know that there was a standby fees. So we have to account for that standby fees and the interest expense for the drawn portion of the line of credit. Because for the standby fees, we know that the standby fees is the fee that must be paid whether you take on the debt or later on you revoke the agreement. So you must pay that standby fees. So we are taking the sum of those two there, the drawn portion and the undrawn portion. Have it set up there. And then for the term loan A, we will just link to their respective interest expense. So the interest that goes to the investors, we have it there for the term loan A